Have you ever made a decision and then later on you kind of wondered, was that really me? Like you were being guided by some invisible hand? Yeah, that strange feeling, right? Where it seems like your own choices are being subtly steered by someone else. It's a really unsettling experience. And honestly, you'd probably be surprised just how common it is. We're talking about a subtle and pretty dark game of control that seeks to influence us, often operating just beneath the surface, just out of sight. So, in this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain. We're going to unravel what manipulation truly is, how it shows up. We'll even get into that complex question about gender, and most importantly, how we can all build our defenses against it. Okay, so let's dive right in. Because here's the thing, to fight something, you first have to be able to name it. You have to know what you're looking at. So what exactly are we dealing with here? At its very core, this is what we're talking about. It's a hidden strategy. This isn't about an open debate or someone trying to convince you with good arguments. No, the goal here is completely one-sided. It's all about benefiting the manipulator, and it's always at the expense of the person they're targeting, leaving them feeling confused and often pretty powerless. Now, this is a really important distinction. You might be sitting there thinking, hang on, isn't this just persuasion? And the answer is a hard no. The key, the absolute biggest difference, is intention. You know, persuasion is a healthy part of life. It's about seeking mutual agreement, respecting someone's freedom to choose. Manipulation, on the other hand, is all about control. It creates a power imbalance, and it's almost always built on a foundation of deception. And this is why it's so sneaky and so effective. It's not a brute force attack. It's a subtle game that plays on our very human vulnerabilities. You know, our insecurities, our desire to be a people pleaser, our need for approval. A skilled manipulator can work those angles so well that we often end up believing their ideas were our own all along. All right, let's keep going and see how this all works. To really protect ourselves, we have to recognize the tools a manipulator uses. Think of this next part as learning to spot the weapons in their arsenal. We're going to walk through 4 of the most insidious tactics out there, and my guess is you've probably encountered some of these before without even having a name for them. First up, gaslighting. Oh man, this one is just devastating. It's a tactic where the manipulator makes you literally doubt your own perception of reality. They'll flatly deny things they said or did, hitting you with phrases like "that never happened" or the classic "you're just overreacting." And when you hear that enough, over time, it just slowly chips away at your confidence in your own mind. Then we have guilt tripping. This is where they basically weaponize your own conscience against you. For example, they might constantly bring up some favor they did for you years ago just to make you feel indebted. Or they'll play the perpetual victim, making you feel responsible for their happiness and obligated to do whatever they want. And the silent treatment, let's be clear, this is not just someone needing a little space. It's a form of punishment. It's a calculated cold shoulder designed to make you feel anxious, to make you desperate to get back in their good graces. And then there's coercion, which is more direct. It's using threats or shame to push you into a corner, making you feel like you have no other choice. And finally, one of the most powerful tactics, intermittent reinforcement. The best way to think about this is like a slot machine. You get just enough of a reward, a little bit of kindness, a word of affection, mixed in with all the neglect and mistreatment. It's just enough to keep you pulling that lever, hoping for the next payout. It creates this incredibly addictive and absolutely exhausting emotional bond. Okay, now let's tackle a question that comes up a lot when we talk about this stuff, and it's a really important nuance to understand. The big question is this something that one gender does more than the other? And the answer is a clear, definitive no. The ability to manipulate and the vulnerability to being manipulated are human traits. They are not gendered traits. However, and this is where it gets interesting, research does suggest that because of learned gender roles and social stereotypes, there can be certain tendencies in the types of tactics people lean towards. Historically, more direct, overt tactics like intimidation or financial control have been associated with masculine stereotypes. On the other hand, more indirect tactics like playing the victim or using guilt have been associated with feminine stereotypes. So the crucial point is this. These are just tendencies, not rules. Anyone can use any tactic. The focus should always be on recognizing the manipulative behavior itself, regardless of who is doing it. Now, for the most important part, the really good news here is that we are not helpless.
We can absolutely learn to recognize these patterns and protect ourselves. It all starts with building your internal defenses. So here are 4 key steps. First, trust your intuition. That little feeling deep in your gut that something is off, listen to it. It's your internal alarm system. Second, set firm boundaries. Learn to say no. And remember, no is a complete sentence. You don't owe anyone a long explanation for protecting your peace. Third, respond with assertiveness, not aggression. If you feel pressured, just buy yourself time. A calm, I need to think about that, is an incredibly powerful tool. And finally, build your support system. A strong network of friends, family, or even a therapist can give you perspective and strength, especially when you need it most.
And let's end on this. Recognizing manipulation is the first giant step toward reclaiming your power. Remember that you have a right to your own thoughts, your own feelings, and your own decisions. Protecting your peace of mind is not selfish, it is absolutely essential. So maybe take a moment to ask yourself, are there any strings in your life that you need to cut?
You are wonderful and unique people.